Hi, I'm Ben. Now this tape is about this last 3-4 months we've been restricted of where we can travel, but thankfully I've been to 2 or 3 places with this old coronavirus. You're limited, but thankfully the hardware shops have still been open, and wherever I've been, if I've seen one, I visited it. And eBay, there's no flea markets or that now, but I bought a few things out of eBay. I'd like to share them, but before that, my last tip was about changing the oil and the gearbox in my 3-in-1 lathe. I used Gorilla Super Glue. About a day, 2 days, it started to weep, but I got in touch with the firm. Luckily enough, they had some back in store, so I got a proper oil window, and this is it. Now this was the original window that came when the machine was new, just hard plastic, and the vision for the oil very poor, but I used this before when it broke. Getting this away was a nightmare without dropping it into the gearbox. But luckily the new one is made of steel or metal, and very clear window. Now this is the new one. Look at the nice clear window. Seeing the oil. Made of metal, 22mm spotter, which is very welcome. I'm glad they had them in store. I'm enjoying tea this time, finishing it. Now that is my gearbox and the oil sorted out on my 3-in-1 lathe, thankfully, with the proper window. Now I have gathered up quite a bit of stuff over the last 3-4 months, and some new, mostly new, some second hand from eBay. So let's get looking, and this is it. I want to share them with you. Now, pardon me. Now, in my local supermarket, they have a hardware department, and there's some weeks there's some nice offers in it. Sometimes they're hard to refuse. So these are some of the ones that I bought over different weeks, and here they are. Now to start with, some of the ones here is a set of plug and dial cutter bits. There's times you go in, you see different tools in the diamond grinding bit set. I took a fancy to these. I think they're a 20-piece set. Also HSS step bit sets. They could do brass, aluminium, etc. Now on these offers, here's another couple of tools I took a fancy to. I have quite a few of these, but I like the look of these. You put Tweezer Set in, and I haven't had them open yet. And now here is something was in it one that I do need, and just at the time handy to get. Just wire brush, cup brush, a heavy duty one. Another week, and then here is Anti-Static Tweezer Set, which comes in handy at times. A lot of tweezers. There's times I'm looking for tweezers. I have tweezers, but at times finding them. Now, drills. I don't need drills, but there's one week these two were in. This one is 16, 17, 18 and 20 mil. 22, 24 and 25 mil. Now, a lot of their stuff was made in Germany, and there's a lot made in Poland, some made in Britain. I'm referring to, they are not Chinese. Like these are made in Germany. Next one, drilling depth 33, reduced per drilling, HSS. Made in Germany. So this lot pleases me. As I say, they have a hardware department, and some weeks you go in, there's some nice offers. But I wouldn't buy their electrical gear. No. You want something electric, you want a good name make to it. The like of a grinder or drill or whatever, cordless. Now, pardon me again. Now these scribers, I like these scribers, they come in very, very handy. Now what I like about this little tool, it's got the 2 points, but you can also put a pencil in. Which is nice. Now, I took a fancy to these. There's a set of 3 squares. They are made in Germany. This is a 5-inch, 8.5-inch, or 25 mil. I have quite a few really good squares, but these come in handy, I would imagine. Now this is a 50, well 18-inch. There's times you be doing straight lines on steel plate. Come in handy. But here is a tool I really took a fancy to. Very nice tool. Look at that. For topping. You could use your tops in this. Look at the size that goes up to. Any top. Very nice tool. Now pardon me again. Now these are the tools that I bought in the hardware department of my local supermarket over a period of about a little over 3 months. They have different offers each week, or most weeks, maybe not every week, but most weeks. Hopefully I can make use of them. And this old virus, it creates a lot of restrictions, but I was out and about a few places with one of my sons. He was collecting materials for jobs and I was giving him a hand, and some of the places we were, there were hardware shops. True enough, I called in and these are some of the things that I picked up. Now, one is a set of the universal fit nut retractors. Universal fit, a wire brush for my grinder, useful items, small wire brushes to get into awkward places. Now on another day called in, I got a 3-in-1 sleeve, which at times comes in very handy for small drills when you're on the lathe. Top guide, spring, center. I have something similar, but this is another one which may come in handy. Now here is a tool. Here is a tool I took a fancy to it when I seen it. Don't know what I'll use it for, but maybe come in handy at some time. .63 mil, 2.5 inch. Hope to make use of it. Now on another day I called into a hardware store D-bit HSS M2 half-inch round. I have some of these tools that I bought, but now here's one I use a lot of, 8mm. I just lifted this. I have quite a lot of these, but just bought that. Now here's a tool I'm running short of. They're tea cutters. Buy this and a couple of small clamps. They look tight enough and strong enough to do some jobs. Now on another day, a wee hardware store I called into, they had a wall all Sealy tools, and I like Sealy, so three to 8mm international deburring chamfer tool, which is very useful. 18-piece rotary tool bush set. All small wire brushes. Sealy makes a good tool. 4-piece small hole gauge set. 1/8 to 1/5, 1/5 to 3/10, 7.5mm, 7.510mm, 13mm. Sealy makes a good tool. Now there is a tool that I really need. I had it for 20 years and it packed in on me, so I had to go to my own local hardware store, which is very good, to get a grease gun. Something you definitely cannot do without. So I was getting it, I wanted to get a good one. So this is it. That's something I really had to get. There's a grease gun. And when I was there, I spied needle file set, 3 by 140, 10-piece, and a good rough file. Something I needed was a good rough file. And a nice square file. Files are something that you can always use. press all, standard, fit press, standard grease gun. I'm just finishing my coffee. Now, these next three items, one of them is new. The one I had I gave to one of my sons, so I've replaced it. And the other two, well, let's get showing them. Now, this is the new item. I had a set of these and I gave it to one of my sons. It's Elka Impact Driver, but the set of screws comes with it for screwdrivers, but it does sockets also. Now this one's not new. I have a couple of Morse 5 dead centers. They're on the long side. This one hopefully is a bit shorter, which will give me a longer piece for to put in between centers. This goes into the headstock of my lathe. Now this is not new. Now this is a tool I've seen and took a fancy to it as well. Taped up, but I have it. It's a little 4-jaw chuck. I'm not going to use this on the 3-in-1 lathe, for I have a couple of 4-jaw chucks for it. I'm thinking of making a tool for my, an accessory for my mill out of it. It's a 4-inch. Now it came very reasonable. They're very small chuck keys, so I had to make a chuck key. I had it just needs tidied up, but nice fit. So that I'm going to make an accessory out of it. As you know, I have made nearly all my accessories, and this one will also be. Now these are some of my homemade accessories, and I have this turntable, this one, but they are 3-jaw chucks, and I'm going to make one maybe out of this little 4-jaw. Now that is my outgoing spending in this last 2-3 months. I hope some of you have found it of interest. I want to thank you for your comments, and If you like, press the like button. Thank you for watching. This is Ben. Thanks again.